Hey there, this is Celine. Thanks for listening in. This is Whimsical Sexperts, and this is a Sexbite. So this Sexbite is about one of my favorite experiences to begin with. So like I said, I don't mind playing along. I like to play with my clients when I'm on the phone with them in so many different ways. And isn't that the fun of it, though? I like it when the client is very engaging and interactive. Well, one night because I chat with clients and they can call me or they can chat with me, or there are a lot of different ways that you can be sexy with me. And I had this client that chatted with me, and it was this whole conversation about who can orgasm more, which is really funny to me because, the thought of a man, which no doubt this client was going to be, who could orgasm, more than once or twice, was kind of an enigma to me. I was like, you're just kidding me, right? You're just joking right now. We're just playing. This is your fantasy, so I'm going to go with it. We'll just get right there. But we had this whole conversation about whether he could come more, I could come more, and then suddenly it was a bet. It was hey, if you can come more than I do, I'll bet you something. And I was like, oh yeah, what's in it for me? And he was like, my work boots. And he sends me a picture of these ratty old boots, and I'm like, I don't care, it's a bet. I want those. And so I was like, all right, well, if you win, I'll send you my boots. And I sent him a picture of my sexy boots. They're like patent leather, lace up, like hook and like crazy 6-inch heel boots that I never wear. Because my goodness, who has time for that? Nobody has time for that shit, let me tell you. But so he said, all right. And this is all in a chat. And suddenly my line's ringing and it's this client. And I'm like, well, hi there. And we start to play. And, for the sake of some decency, I'm not going to tell you all of the things we talked about. But it did come down to just like at this point in time, I was masturbating on every call. And so I would masturbate with this client. And it was just constant. Like I was having these constant climaxes and constant orgasms. And this client was too, apparently, or that's what he wanted me to think, which I found that quite amusing myself. I was busy. I was thinking more about myself and my own needs. Oh, terrible, Celine. But the client was still getting off. Like we were still talking about sexy things, like what I might do with my body or my mouth, or, to him, because that's what phone sex is when it's really sexy. When it's the sexy part, you're talking about what you're going to do with that other person. And sometimes it's a really big turn on for me. And I'm telling you, that night, I think I came like an absolute freight train. It was like over and over and over and over and over again. And the call disconnected. So of course I messaged him back and I'm like, who won? And it was funny because he messaged me and he was like, well, that was just round 1. Are you ready for round 2? And I laughed and laughed because it was, I was exhausted. I had orgasmed myself out. I was totally tired. But, I was like, it was fun and this is good money. Yes. If I say no, and here's the thing, if I say no to a client, they're going to call someone else. Why would I say no? Why do I want them to give their money to someone else unless it's not my kink? If it's NMK and I send you to someone else, that's different. But you know what? If you're contacting me, it's probably because you see something about me or you hear something about the way that I present myself that makes you want to call me. You're compelled to call me, sort of. It's an odd sort of magic, and I like it a lot. So, of course, I was ready for round two, even though I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And so he did call me back and we did go at it again. And it was, oh, friends, it was 20 or 30 minutes of constant orgasms because that's good for me. That's what I do. And he did end up, the call disconnected, and I messaged him back, and I didn't hear back from him that day. But this is someone that I definitely talk to. I've had frequent interactions with. So I did have several interactions of the same caliber, and the fantasy of just betting your boots as to whether or not, you can have more orgasms than the person on the other line just made it a fun game, a really fun, sexy game. So if ever you're if you are ever in need of some phone sex fodder with your partner or your, long distance relationship, bet for your boots, or bet for something motivating. It's a good fantasy to have. And even if, you don't win, the game is always fun. Thanks for listening.